do you care if it's Buck and Aikman or if it's the Mannings? You're telling me that you would watch in silence or just the sounds of the crowd and be happy?
I said it could be the sounds of animals fighting.
I want to try and test that one day.
That was a band.
Yeah, and as long as there's football playing, I don't care.
I don't.
Like I've never been like, oh, these guys are calling the game, I'm not going to watch it, or it's not going to be as fun. No.
Yeah.
I think it totally enhances or destroys the broadcast. And
destroys?
There's no in between.
How's it destroys?
Dick Stockton destroys a game. Dick Stockton destroys a game. That's when it's not like, to me, Kenny Albert destroys a game, and he's on all of the time.
Why? Why, though? Why do they destroy a game? What is it about him?
Because he is, and no disrespect, because I love Jim Jackson, but if I take Jim Jackson to call football, that's what Kenny Albert sounds like to me. And we tried that. That was Jim Jackson doing the Phillies play-by-play, and it's just not the same. It's not the same. So there's just a classic football sound to me. Keith Jackson. It sounds like football. Al Michaels, even though I just ripped him, sounds like football. Mike Tirico sounds like football. Fucking Beth Mowins sounds like football. Like it's just there's a thing to it. I disagree completely with Taylor. If there's not a good play-by-play person that's there, I feel like you're losing a big part of the game.
Yeah,
I really do.
It depends on who you're talking to, right? Because like for me, I'm a football diehard. I'm a complete obsessive. I watch games. I'd sit down, watch the pregame show on Sunday, start at like 10 in the morning. I would watch everything all the way through Sunday Night Football. I'd watch the game on Monday, and then eventually Thursdays, all that kind of stuff. I don't give a shit about broadcasters anymore. I just don't. Because to Taylor's point, it's like I know what's happening in the game. They're not.
No, we don't.
I know what's happening in the game.
We do not know everything that's happening in the game because the camera angles, first of all, are the bigger problem to me in advancing like where we're at. Like you can't see the entire field, so I need somebody to tell me. Were they open? Was it not? Was it this? Was it that? You don't know everything that's happening.
They can add tangential details once in a while, but they'll also show you that visual. So, like, I don't pay attention to them because their background noise, they don't matter to me. Like, I know, okay, they put this graph up. I see this guy on the field. They'll draw a circle. I could see it. But, like, listening within the game, when I watch games with people, I'm naturally, in my conversation, I'll go like, oh, this guy's been really killing it today. And then sure enough, the broadcaster, like 10 seconds later, they're like, this person's really killing it today. And it's just like, that happens to me all the time. Like I know what they're doing. I know the rhythm. I understand the game. I follow the teams. I follow the league. I just know what it is. So for me as a diehard, it doesn't matter.
Dude, when Kevin Harlan calls a Super Bowl, it sounds like a big fucking game. And it's the Super best
Bowl.
Of the best. I know.
What do you mean?
But I'm saying he can make any game sound like the Super Bowl. And that's the difference. That to me enhances the broadcast a million times, to paint the picture, to tell the story, to do all that. You're the narrator of present day history, and you're telling the story. It's not about like the voice or this or that. It's just that's what I mean. That's why it has to never be replaced. It can be different things. It can be the Mannings. Fuck, we do it on Sundays, for Christ's sake. We rip them off, basically, and are doing the same thing. I think that's where broadcasting is going to end up. No doubt about it. Like the traditional play-by-play person is gone, but that's okay. Commentary is still needed no matter what because we all feel it. And
wait, what happened to football voices?
What do you mean?
It did change.
Yeah.
What happened to like
you were talking about football voice a couple minutes ago?
Oh yeah, like football. Just like I said, like you had your. I'm Keith Jackson, and we're watching football, and this is Greg Cosell, and it's very serious, And now it's getting into like, all right. Can we say fuck on the air? Like it's starting to get a little looser. It's starting to get more fan-based, starting to get more like regional in terms of people we like, and that's never really changed.
Well, which is where it needs to be, right? Because to your point of us doing all of this, why do we do it? Because you know what? It is nice to watch a game and just go, oh, man, that play was fucking terrible.
Yes.
What the hell was that? And you don't get that in a national broadcast because what is it? It's these big networks. They're broadcasting to everybody. They get fined out the ass if anything goes wrong. They are terrified of losing money, and that is all they do. But now, what happens? We do it all digitally. We're on YouTube. Watch the show on YouTube. That's what we're doing, right? So we can do that. We can curse. We can say whatever the hell we want. It's more of a fan analysis, and it is biased. Like,
Yeah.
you know what? I do want that. I don't need somebody that's in the middle and sitting there and just giving base observations of the game because they don't criticize anybody. Like,
but
that's
isn't-
the thing that kills me.
Isn't that what we already do already with like most of the regional guys we love, like, or play-by-play people? Merrill, like, it's just different when if we're listening to a Fox broadcast. It's why we kind of like sync up our radios and everything to the TV, so it's a little more.
Yeah.
That hasn't changed since the sport has been invented.
Well, you
want
want to sync it up, yes, but you do that because the national thing is totally lacking, and you don't always get that provided element. Like for football, especially, right? That's why it's so complicated. Because for football, it's always been the major networks are king of everything. You get local radio.
Yes, right.
But you do not get local television. That has never been a thing. We do not.
For the
I've
NFL,
never
isn't
in
that
my
w-
life.
Isn't that weird for the NFL? Like every other sport does that except the
Well,
NFL.
because the games are so universally watchable, which is
Yeah.
again why, like, I watched all those games, and generally I don't care about the broadcaster because I know all of it, and all of them play this neutral card. Like, they don't come out and they just go, "Oh yeah, this guy's been on the team for 5 years," but I don't know why.
But that's,
They won't say that stuff.
But that's why I would listen to Merrill, even though I would admit he's probably lost his fastball over the years. But at least he cares.
well, yes.
like he could be, oh God, like at least he's allowed to throw that shit in there. Like this
he's
is
earned that.
terrible, Mike. Exactly.
That's the unfortunate thing. He had to earn that rather than just be that. Like, that's where none of those guys want to be. A lot of these times as broadcasters, if you call a broadcaster a homer, they will take offense to that.
you get paid by the team.
Well, I know.
You
but
have to be. You're a homer.
they're
Like,
that's what they should be, because that is your
we're all
audience.
homers, by the way. Like we always have a
You
bias
yes,
towards the better.
You're
you should
Giants
be.
homer.
I'm
But-
a Giants homer. That's
But
right.
well, the tough thing is that as a broadcaster, the problem is you can't get too negative on the team. They don't want you to. I mean, certain guys do, like whatever. Nobody's going to get fired over it necessarily, but they're not going to encourage you to go like, yeah, this pitcher's dog shit. Why is he even playing? Like for the Phillies, you could have done that for the last 10 years.
I got to
like,
tell.
They almost did.
Oh man.
They almost did.
Yes, and let me tell you this is a little secret. Larry Anderson,
Oh boy.
the real Larry Anderson, when
Oh,
he's
boy.
not on the air and he is letting it rip in between commercials, I would listen to that and pay $19.99 for it.
Well-
That is the type of announcer we're looking for, right?
I got to do that. Actually.
yeah, I was going
and
to say I've heard some things.
You heard that
Yeah.
shit too, right?
That
Like,
was
you've
my
heard-
job. I produced Phillies radio for like 4 years at WIP.
All right, can we do story time then?
That's what I did.
I have to get this out. Like,
All right.
there is a certain picture that happened over the course of 2016 to 2019 that
2017.
yeah
2017.
that would say this motherfucker again right as they went to break. And I go, if there is a God that could put together Larry Anderson's deep cut, like a super cut of all the stuff that he did,
Oh, yeah.
he would be the most popular broadcaster in Philadelphia. Forget Chase Utley saying world fucking champions. Like we would Larry Anderson is a legend, and I wish that he would just do those type of Manning broadcasts.
Well, see, and he would be amazing. But frankly, him and Fransky would be amazing at that
Yes,
together if you
yeah.
just let them open it up completely. But yeah, you're paid by the team and you're hamstrung by that. And it's funny too going to the Phillies a little bit because why is Chase Utley a legend? I mean, it's a lot of things about his play, but people are like
he said
he
fuck.
said fuck. Yeah, like that's okay. What kind of Mickey Mouse bullshit is this? Who cares? Like it's not. It's just you want people to give you honest analysis about the team. You want them to be able to do that consistently, tell you the storylines from the side that you're looking at it, and be honest about what they're actually seeing. And a lot of times, I think that's really the root of it for me, is you're never getting a fully honest analysis from any broadcaster. They're just not telling you what they really feel because they have to play in the middle. They are touring around and shaking hands with these people that are the coaches and the players and all this stuff, and it's a relationship business. So you can't sit there as the broadcaster of Thursday Night Football and be like, listen, guys, Mike McCarthy's a fucking clown. You can't do it. But yes, every fan in America would tune in for that. Everybody wants to see that. Don't you want to see that? Like,
it's not
yes.
play-by-play's fault, Taylor. It's how they're doing it. I think is what you have the issue with.
Well, all right. Did you still stand by this point that you said you would deter away from watching a game if it was not the right crew?
Correct. Yeah.
That's crazy.
I would. I mean, like in terms of muting it, yes. Like.
No, I mean.
Oh no! If
not,
there's, I don't care if it's the Bucks versus the Rams. If Dick Stockton is calling it and it's the only way I can get it, I'm not watching it. I'm not watching it muted. I'm not watching it whatever.
That's
I can't
crazy.
watch a game muted. I can't. Cannot.
Why?
Like, because what am I supposed to do? Put music on in the background and
Yes.
it's not. It takes out.
Have you ever watched a game at a party?
Yeah, there's people around. Then it makes sense. Like not like at my house. I'm gonna mute this. What is enjoyable
You can
about a
listen to
muted
Bell and the
sporting
Birdman.
event? All right, fair enough.
Well, that's why. Yeah, I don't pay attention to them. They are background noise. It might as well be like waves crashing on the beach. Is the white.
I really want to know how do you tune it out? How do you tune it out then?
Oh, it's easy. I've tuned people out since I was a first grader. Ask any teacher I ever had. So
No, I'm not. I just want to be clear. I'm not talking about a large party environment. I'm like, you guys at your house will mute the television and be fine.
Most of the time, yeah.
No,
Bunch of weirdos.
I never mute the TV. I don't do it, but I'm not listening to anything they're saying. Like I have very
That's the
selective
point.
hearing.
It's
I have
not,
very selective.
They're not
hearing.
the stars. They're the background. They're the thing that pushes the broadcast forward. They should be in the background, but they should be also enhancing it. Whatever.
Well,
We're
that's
getting
the thing.
down the rabbit
You
hole here,
gotta
but-
find those moments, which is why, for that very short amount of time, Tony Romo captivated America. He did. Because what happens? You get a guy that actually knows the game. He played at a high level for a long time. Everybody knows who he is. He comes in, he's got energy, he's personable, and he's calling the fucking plays before they happen. That was fun. When he hit on it in those moments, he'd be like, oh, it's 3rd and 7 here. I think he's going to go to this guy. Oh, he's making the check. Yeah, I really think it's going to happen. Here it goes, Jim. And then he goes and makes the play. You'd be like, Tony, what the fuck? That was awesome.
Yeah.
So that was cool. And then eventually it started to wear on people a little bit, and Romo's in this strange space.
So
But,
just so I'm
he
clear,
was compelling.
You pay attention when it's interesting.
When one person since John Madden, and that's the thing too, once I've gotten older, when I was a kid, they mattered. And I think for the casual fan, it matters a lot more because you are listening to that. You're not an obsessive sick person that's listening to this and reading the news all the time like I am. You don't have 3 tabs open that are all at profootballtalk.com. You know what I mean?
Casuals are just on their phones. Come on.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, they're
Checking fantasies,
Yes.
checking their bets, and all that.
Sure,
stuff.
but at times when you're watching the game, you will pick those things up because they're actually giving you information. But for me as a diehard that's constantly following it, I'm not learning anything. They're not enlightening me to anything.
You're talking about the analyst part. I'm still on the painting the story, all that stuff.
I know the story.
No, you don't.
I
It's
do.
happening in front of you. That's the point of
And
it. You
I'm
have a
watching
narrator
it.
telling you what's going on as
And
it's
I'm
happening.
seeing it as someone who has eyes and a brain.
All I'm hearing from these two idiots is they don't like the way it's been done. Instead of this is like arguing that radio and TV is dead because it's not a good medium. It's a great medium, and the people in charge of it fucking ruined it.
Yes, that's
what
true.
happened. It's not that. Yeah. So I don't get where there isn't that great of a. I mean, look at this. Fox has to hang now with Kevin Burkhardt, and it's no disrespect to Kevin at all because I love him. But who's behind Kevin Burkhardt? Who's behind Al Michaels? Who's behind Mike Tirico? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The whole thing shifted. That's what I mean. We're going to get into this new era of play-by-play people, and I hope they realize the Tony Romos of the world that captivate us, the Mannings that, can provide that. And that's basically what you're saying, right? I want the next closest ex-NFLer to be in the booth so he can teach me something new about the game because they just came out of it, right? So you are hepped up
compelling.
for a $375 million 10 years of Tom Brady in the booth.
No, not at all.
He's the next Tony Romo whenever
He
that
is
happens.
the most artificial, full of shit, image-conscious nonsense spewer that we're going to get. What is he ever going to say? If we
He's going to be at those fucking hearings, I guarantee you that.
okay.
Hey, baby. I hear you, Tom. Anyway, that's a whole nother
Well,
podcast.
look, yeah.